Chapter 19. Saturday morning, Theo awoke to the sounds of heavy thunder and raindrops pecking at his window. He slowly crawled out of bed and peeked through the curtains. Water was standing in puddles in the backyard. No golf today. Judge followed him downstairs where his parents were busy in the kitchen cooking pancakes and sausage and talking, of course, about the weather. Theo would never understand why adults spent so much time on the subject of the weather. They couldn't change it. The town was buzzing with the news that Pete Duffy had been spotted at O'Hare International Airport in Chicago. He had tried to pay cash for a one-way ticket on a flight to Mexico City, but was delayed when the clerk noticed something odd about his fake passport. The clerk notified her supervisor. At that point, Duffy fled the ticket counter and disappeared into a crowd. The FBI identified him by lifting a fingerprint from the passport by analyzing video footage. There was a photo of Duffy on the front page of the Strattenburg newspaper, and he was not recognizable, in at least Theo's opinion. He was wearing some type of beret, thick-framed eyeglasses, the makings of a beard, and his hair was blonde, almost white. The FBI has this technology that can enhance a photo if a person's face and see things not visible to the naked eye. Mr. Boone was explaining as if he knew a great deal about FBI techniques. Theo was at the table, eating pancakes, feeding some to Judge, staring at the black and white photo of Pete Duffy, and giving thanks that the man was back in the news. Maybe the town could spend a few days rekindling its interest in Pete Duffy and forget about that other criminal, Theo Boone. "I wonder where he's been all week," Miss Boone asked as she sipped her coffee and read the obituaries. "Working on his new look, I guess," replied Mr. Boone. "Doing his hair, grooming his beard. A beret? Give me a break. A guy walking around through O'Hare wearing a beret is bound to attract attention." "It sure doesn't look like Pete Duffy," Theo said. "It's him," Mr. Boone said with certainty. "He's changed his looks, got some cash, bought him some new papers, though they must not be very good, and he almost got away." "I'd like to get away," Theo said. "Theo," Miss Boone said. "It's true, Mom. I'd like to bolt out of here and go hide someplace." "Things are going to be okay, Theo," Miss Boone said. "Oh, really? How do you figure that? I have the cops breathing down my neck, ready to haul me into youth court, and I have some crazy stalker chasing me all over town with a knife, ready to slash my tires again. Sure, Dad, things are really looking great." "Relax, Theo. You're innocent, and you will be proven innocent." "Okay, Dad, here's the question. Do you think the person who robbed Big Macs is the same person who's slashing tires, throwing rocks, and spreading all the garbage on the internet?" Mr. Boone chewed on a bite of sausage for a few seconds, then said, "I do. Mom, I believe so." "That makes three of us. To me, it's pretty obvious, so why can't we convince the police of this?" "I think we can, Theo," Mr. Boone said. "They're still investigating the break-in and burglary. I trust the police, and I think they'll catch the criminals." "Well, I think they've already decided it's me. That guy Vermont thinks I'm lying. I don't like him. He gives me the creeps." "Things will be fine, Theo," Miss Boone said, patting his arm. Then Theo saw her glance at his father. They held each other's gaze for a second or so, and it was not a look of confidence. They were as worried as Theo, maybe more. After breakfast, Theo and his dad drove to Gil's Wheels for yet another new tire. At Mr. Boone's request, Gil disappeared into the rear of the store and found the first two damaged tires. He gave them to Mr. Boone, who has now had a collection of 3. Mr. Boone paid for the numbers 2 and 3 and paid the $18 Theo owed for the first tire. Gil assured them that there were no epidemic of tire slashings in town. In fact, he had seen only 3 the entire week, all of which belonged to Theo. Outside the bike shop, the rain had stopped, but the skies were still cloudy and threatening. For a moment, Theo and his father talked about driving to the golf course and waiting on the weather. The course, though, would be soaked, and if it was open later in the morning, there would be a crowd. Theo knew that a crowded golf course was worse than no course at all. They agreed that it was not a good idea. Ike had texted twice during the morning, and wanted to meet. Back home, Theo puttered around the house and watched the weather. After an hour, he announced that he was bored and explained to his parents that Ike had invited him for lunch. They said yes, and Theo took off on his bike. Ike looked worse than usual. His eyes were red and puffy with dark circles just below them. "I've been up all night," he said as Theo took a chair. "Didn't sleep a wink. Spent the whole night reading through divorce files. And you want to know something, Theo? There are a lot of sad folks out there who need to get divorced. I have never been so depressed in my life. I don't know how your mother does this kind of work every day of the week. Wives accuse husbands of all sorts of terrible behavior. Husbands accuse their wives even worse. They claw each other's eyes out over who gets the house, the cars, the bank accounts, the furniture. But man, when it comes to who gets the kids, it's worse than cage fighting. Horrible stuff, Theo." Theo just sat and listened. Ike was hyper, probably jazzed on coffee and one of the little super juice drinks that guaranteed quick energy. He blitzed on. "So I still like my theory, do you?" "Sure, Ike, it's the best theory yet." "Thank you." "They slashed my bike tire again yesterday at the VFW." Ike paused, pondered this, took a swig of coffee. "We gotta catch them, Theo." "The police do not believe me, Ike. We gotta move fast." Ike picked up his notepad and flipped some pages. "I found 2 cases that we should explore. Both are nasty divorces from the secured docket, which of course means that the court has locked away the files, so only lawyers have access. The first case involves Mr. and Miss Rockworth. I won't bore you with the details, but it's safe to say that Mr. Rockworth does not like your mother. 2 children involved. Huge fight over who should get custody. Both parents doing a pretty good job of proving that neither was fit to raise kids. After a bitter trial, Miss Rockworth was given custody, and Mr. Rockworth was given liberal visitation rights with the kids, both of whom are in counseling. The judge ordered Mr. Rockworth to pay $18,000 in attorney's fees and to the firm of Boone and Boone. Do you know anybody named Rockworth? No. How old are the kids? The boy is 12 in 7th grade and middle school. He has an older sister who's 15. Evidently, both wanted to live with their father. The family has lived here for just a couple years, which explains why you haven't heard of them. Is this your top suspect? Oh no, just a possibility. I have a much better prospect. The Fighting Finns. The divorce is far from final, with a trial set for next month. These people have spent every dime they had trying to prove the other is a bigger creep. Mrs. Finn is pretty crazy and has done time in the nut house. Mr. Finn can't stay sober and tends to gamble too much. All kinds of bad habits on both ends. 3 children, but 18-year-old daughter is already left home. The other 2 are 12 and 14, both boys, and they really don't like their mother, who, of course, is represented by your mother. Tons of bad blood here, Theo, and it's safe to say that Mr. Finn and the 2 boys have an intense dislike for your mother and anybody else named Boone. This divorce has been going on for over a year and it's vicious. These people have driven themselves loony. What are the boys' names? Jonah Finn, age 12, 7th grade. Jesse Finn, age 14, 9th grade. Theo closed his eyes and tried to place the names with faces, but he could not. Don't know them. I thought you were a fairly popular kid at school, Theo. Do you know anyone? I'm in the 8th grade, Ike. We don't mix too much with the 7th grade, nor does the 7th grade mix with the 6th, and so on. We have different classes, different schedules. How much do you know about these guys? The basics, but not much more. At least for a younger one, Jonah. The court has appointed a guardian to look out for their best interests, and both boys have expressed a strong desire to live with their father. Their mother, though, through a talented lawyer, claims the boys want to live with their father because he lets them do whatever they want, including smoking cigarettes and drinking beer. Can you imagine a 7th grader drinking beer around the house with his dad? No, I cannot. These are probably pretty tough kids, right? They've had a rough life, moved around a lot, changed homes and schools. Not much stability. Yes, I'd guess that these 2 boys are pretty much on their own. Last year, Jesse was caught with marijuana and went through youth court. He got probation. The boys were sent to a foster home 3 months ago as a sort of safe house until the divorce is over, but they kept running away. As of now, they're living with their mother, who works a night shift at the hospital. I doubt if there's much supervision. It's a mess, Theo, but these two boys are our prime suspects. Everything fits. A two-man team. A strong dislike for your mother. The motive to take revenge against you. The capacity to engage in vandalism and even burglarize a computer store. We need to find out more about them. I don't suppose my mother is involved in the divorce for Mr. and Miss Shear. Ike looked at his notes, flipped a page, then said, "No, why?" "Just a hunch. A kid I know in Scouts who was a little different, that's all. There's no file on them." There was a long pause as Theo and Ike thought about the situation. Ike gulped coffee while Theo stared at the floor. Finally, Theo said, "I need to tell you about my friend Griff." Theo told a story about Griff's sister Amy and her friend Benny and his friend Gordy, and the episode in which Gordy was offered a new Lynx 04 tablet for $50 by some unknown kid in the high school parking lot. Ike's red eyes lit up when he heard this. "This could be huge, Theo," he said. "What if it's Jesse Finn who's trying to sell a tablet?" Theo asked. "You gotta make this happen, Theo." "But how?" "If we can get our hands on a stolen tablet, we take it straight to the police who'll check the registration number. If it came from Big Mac's, then they'll get off your back and go after these little Finn thugs." From a rear pocket, Ike pulled out his wallet, opened it, and withdrew some cash. He counted out two $20 bills and a 10. "Here's $50. Stick it in your pocket. Go find Griff and tell him to talk to his sister. Make this happen, Theo." Theo took the money and stuck it deep in his pocket. He sat down again and said, "But what if it doesn't work? What if this Gordy guy doesn't want to handle a stolen tablet? Or what if the dude has already sold it to someone else?" "We won't know until we try. Do it, Theo. Get it done. And in the meantime, find out all you can about Jonah and Jesse Finn." "Thanks, Ike. And don't worry about the fact that I snooped through your mother's files. If it was the Finns if we solve this little mystery, I'll talk to Marcella and Woods and take all the blame. Believe me, I've done much worse. Thanks, Ike. You've already said that. Now get out of here." "What about lunch?" "I'm not hungry. I'm sleepy. See you later." That's the end of chapter 19.